That name is too long to tweet. It eats up too many characters, so that's why I did recap show trademark. If there was any confusion out there, I know there was. And I have not Benji here with me tonight. And Benji, something came up. He couldn't make it, and here we are. And we are looking at night 7 of an 8-show run. And I'm going to run the set list there. Oh, wait, let's do that one first. It's so cute. I typed the stuff in. And then here's the set list. So, Brad, where are you? I mean, Turtle in the Clouds, is that a good one? Is that
it's a safe opener,
safe, good answer.
Yeah, it's a safe opener. It's something that'll get the crowd going, and I enjoy it. I don't prefer it, but there again, we always don't get what we want, but it's a nice little choice.
Sometimes we get what we need.
Yeah, absolutely. Even if that's Undermined and Drift.
Well, all right, Turtle in the Clouds. It's got a dance. You no longer get a gula, so I'll take the turtle because I like a good dance. Especially if somebody in the crowd knows it. If you ever been out there when someone can kick it out with them, you're like, that's all right. And you're not an Undermine guy?
Well, I don't mind it. It's I sound like a horrible old man, but it's one of those things where I don't seek it out, but if it's playing, I'm at the show, I'm cool. But it just wasn't what I was expecting. But I will say this, Kev, about the dancing. Every Phish show needs a little whimsy, right?
It does.
Yeah. So I'm all for that. Absolutely.
Yeah. Now, wait, we're going to get into that, Pat, because I got a question for you later, but you're going to have to hang out because I got a schedule to stick to. That's what they tell me. So where are we with, Undermined? I love the lyric. The lyric is primo and it gets a thing. Drift while you're sleeping. Let me just say that there is a large bandwagon that is not a fan of the Ghost of the Forest songs. But I found that placing it in the 3 spot tonight actually worked because you're cool. It's when you're still sunlight's out, you're having another beer. They go into the little Clapton reggae breakdown thing,
Right.
And then, it works a lot better than, all right, it's deep in the second set. We're going to bust that out. And I'm like, man, give me a bug at that point. So,
which they did, but yeah.
Where are you on the Drift while you're sleeping? I know this, but
so it's if I can get through the first 6-7 minutes of that song, I consider it pretty good. The context of the song, the way it was written, and all that stuff that was going on in Trey's life, that's what keeps me from 100% bagging on it. A little empathy. But if I'm just saying like or dislike, I don't mind the little fake, as you mentioned earlier, the fake reggae Clapton thing. I don't mind that. Different pace there. Again, 3 holes better in the first set than going 3 holes second set, or 4 holes or encore. Don't want to encore with that. Yeah.
And then I tell you what, I feel like it kind of took off a little bit with the Shuggy Otis. It's always been such an interesting. I guess it was obvious that they did it for the Strawberry Night at Baker's Dozen, but that they bring it back, and I think it's a really good one for Trey because it isn't the vocal and lyric isn't that hard in it. Like some soul shouters, he isn't hitting those ranges that they are. With this one, I think it's comfortable for him. And with the teleprompter, he could do it once a tour, once a year or something like that, and not blow the lyrics.
Well, he enjoys that song from what I've watched, right? I mean, it's one of those where, his eyes light up when he gets a chance to show off that he is a vocalist and whatnot. But I adore that song. I like it anytime Trey's happy and anytime the band's happy when they're playing. And at that point in time of the show, for me at least, It felt like they came out of the mud. It just felt like they were a little bit slow at first. I wasn't there, so I didn't have the energy of the room. But just sitting on my couch, it just felt like it was stuck in the mud on the first 3 songs. But once we got to Strawberry, it felt like, okay, here we go. And then, and then we got, from there we got Stealing Time, and then, Runaway Jim and all that.
Right. Strawberry Letter, fun. Stealing Time. I tweeted this earlier that it's my favorite of Trey's recovery lyrics. Like
Right.
Kill Devil Falls, and that whole. What was the first album? Joy in 2009. A lot of those I think landed on Joy, but very. It makes you ponder, but not too much. It's one of those great songs where you can hang on each line, but not have to really think about what the line before was or after. You can just hang on it as it goes, instead of something that you have to be like, is there a narrative here that I have to pay attention to?
Well, just musically for me, the song just hits, and I know for you on the lyric side and whatnot with your experience, it hits for you. It checks all the boxes for me. But again, it's for me, again, that they started coming out of the mud about this time for me. I was really, really excited. Started getting into the groove of the show. Maybe it was just my surroundings, didn't have the energy around me that I needed. But yeah, I mean, I was having fun at this point.
Apparently they did an Odd Couple tease. I heard a tease, and I have not gone back and pulled up an episode of the Odd Couple to confirm, but enough people told me, it was the Odd Couple, that we're going to go with that.
I'll trust them.
I'll trust them. I was not a fan of the show. I didn't like the one guy, Tony Randall. He didn't do much for me as an actor.
Well, why doesn't that surprise me?
Side commentary. And then we got a Runaway Jim, which apparently I said something about last night. Someone pointed out to me. So,
and you also said something about the Trey was what was it? He was backstage eating his Clip Bar and drinking his cold green tea.
Last waiting night for the second set, right?
Right. Yeah. So yeah.
Oh man, there we go. All right, where were we? It's hard to do 4 things at once sometimes. I like Runaway Jim.
I do.
I don't like Runaway Jim when it's I don't know. They always have fun with it. Tonight's was very compact. It was tight but fierce, like I like to say. I still think my standard all of a sudden is Alabama last summer with the Runaway Groove, because they were having so much fun with it. They ended up playing Weekapa, which some websites say didn't happen. I'm not sure what the notation looks like now, but for my money. And then we had Camel Walk, which good for Jeff Holdsworth, getting them royalties, a little bit something for himself.
Right. I this is one time where I do wish I love Camel Walk, but it's now a Tab song for me. It's always kind of been, but they blow it out the door. So at least the last 2 tours with Tab, but it was certainly nice to. When was the last time they played Camel Walk? It was
at Gorge.
Yeah,
probably the Gorge, and the Gorge one was a fucking monster. I mean, it went into that long jam. Yeah, it was in the second set, maybe, or maybe it was in the first set. I don't remember. I tell you what, with Camel Walk, I was at the Darien Lake show in '97 where Forbin ended up in Camel Walk, and just Trey going, "We're supposed to play Mockingbird, but we're feeling the funk," or whatever he says, and they fucking go into Camel Walk. It's got a special place, I'm just like, whatever, you can shit that one, and I'll be like, fuck yeah, I'll be right on the front line. And then I feel like they really took off, because actually the run from probably Strawberry on to the end of the set, but Timberhill, another first time I saw it was Hampton '95, and I did not know the song.
Right.
Never gotten a tape with it. And they open up the second set with it. And it was just one of those moments where you're like, that's fucking cool as shit. How did I not know that? And then they went into Tube, which I'd only ever heard as a studio rehearsal before that. So it was this whole, But anyway, Timber, where are you? I mean, where are you? Please don't say
Oh,
you don't like it. I don't want to.
No, I love it. No.
Video you.
No. No, you're not going to catch me on this one. No, I love. I really do love Timber. Matter of fact, it's one of Kayla's songs that she loves as well.
Nice.
Something about it. I don't know. For me, it's a song that I don't know. It reminds me. This is going to sound weird, but old cartoons, like old timey cartoons.
Okay.
Yeah, and it brings back that memory of me watching those.
The old
and
Warner
it's a
Brother.
weird, yeah, and it's a weird time for me mentally. However we connect with this music, right? But for me, that's where my mind goes. So I always go to a happy place when that song comes on.
Right. I was thinking that.
Toto, I have a feeling we're not in Kansas anymore.
That's where I was, because they went into Julius, which,
right.
Let me tell you, last year in Atlantic City, when I walk into the fucking casino, I hate fucking casinos. I walk in there, there's a statue of Julius because it's Caesar's. And I take a picture. I'm like, they got to do this. They're like, fuck you, dude. I can't help you. I'm a big fan of Julius. I like the story. It's got a cute lyric,
Mm-hmm. Oh.
Yeah, I was leaving it to you right when you took. I'm like a waitress. Right when you take a bite, I'm going to ask you how dinner
right
is.
Or the dentist with the tools in my mouth, right? Yeah,
we're going to drill right now.
Right. So what do you think? Yeah. Look, how can you not just start bopping around when Julius comes on? I'll just say this, and this may be the wrong take for some people, but if your ass isn't out of your seat moving to that song, regardless of where it's at in the set, you might want to rethink while you're there. That's just a fun little groove for me.
It is. And then one of my favorites, Split Open, and it was a tad short.
Yeah, but it got a little spacey.
Right. Were we at the point where girth was more important than length with that one?
I was satisfied. I came away full from that. I didn't need any more after that. I will say it was nice. It was a nice turn from the start of the show. And again, there's nothing wrong with the songs at all. I'm just talking about preference here.
I always say that I would rather hear something else.
Right. Yeah. And for them to end on that and then to come out set 2 with what they did to set the tone, which you'll get at next. But man, it was, I like the spacey stuff.
We have breaking news. The Trey dance is sweeping the nation, apparently.
Right. Can you do the Trey dance?
I will try. If they do it at the Man, if they do a You Enjoy Myself, I will do the Trey dance for you because it might be someone's birthday.
It might be.
It might be.
You know what? Yeah, it might be. And he's going to that show, the Man.
He's going to that show. I love You Enjoy Myself. 25 shows since the last live one, since they did it in New Year's. And that's debatable whether that's a stat thing or not.
Right.
But so 25, longest ever in the history of the song. I think that for a long time, I'm going to put this as gently as I can, but it's almost like an albatross around their neck. You Enjoy Myself is quintessential Phish, and they have to play it sometimes, but it's this monster. It's all of a sudden you're like, all right, let's bring out the fucking Kraken,
Right.
And what I really enjoyed, and then I'll let you pontificate, is the way they did the little bit of vocal and then went into a jam again, just like they did at New Year's.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Them hopping back into, well, first of all, when I got to admit, when I'm not a big, I love YM, but I'm not a big fan of just the not lyrics, but the whatever at the very end. I can't even think right now, but where they're, acapella shit. And what I get in my mind is at Dick's last year, those white lights burning my eyes. But it was really neat to hear them go back into that jam and to continue to stretch. And to me, it did feel it didn't feel like a standard YM at all. Maybe because it was opening the second set, and then also they did not, they came back into the jam, and then also the house lights didn't come up at the end of that song either, which is what I'm used to.
Right, exactly. All right, so we're going to move on, and here's your question.
Yeah, I dig A Wave of Hope. By the way, if we're talking about versions here and whatnot, tonight's Wave of Hope was the surprise of the night for me. Okay, that was the surprise of the night, the way they stretched that out. They took that tune to new heights and whatnot. I will say both songs, the lyrics are somewhat cheesy. We've had this discussion before, but nostalgically, I'm not ready to say Wave of Hope over Ruby Waves yet. Although I enjoy it. I enjoyed a little beboppy tune, cheesy lyrics or not.
Right.
So, yeah.
I'm a Wave of Hope guy all the way. It went from fucking Also Ran at New Year's and then tonight, where Ruby Waves, I will die on this hill, that Ruby Waves at Alpine that's heralded as the second coming was actually a series of pre-rehearsed jam segments that they strung together because there are 4 very distinct sections, and it's cool that they did it. But the Wave of Hope tonight was very organic, and it's one of the smoothest transitions back to an end of a song that they've been trying to do. It was like they were playing it, they eased into it, boom, we're at the ending, and you're like, oh yeah, Wave of Hope. So that's my there we go. All right, so there we go. And then what did we have next? We had
Bug.
Oh, Bug.
Your second set, Bug.
Did I say that like that? What can I do? Yeah. It's you know what it is?
But he's a genuine asshole.
Yes, I am.
You are.
I'm not a Bug guy. I don't know. I'd
don't
rather
smile,
hear a lot of other things.
So when you're at a show, and I've had the pleasure of
We've
being
been to
around
a few.
you, yeah. So I know it takes a lot to get you going sometimes out there, but it doesn't make you at least crack a smile or at least kind of take a deep breath and go,
you know what it
familiar.
is? The first time I heard Bug, I also heard Windora Bug. And I really gravitated toward the latter one because that's an even funnier lyrical pun, you know? And I guess it's just, I wish the slow song, this is going to be radical. Let me get, hey, where'd that other thing go? Anyway, this is going to be radical. But I think that all the slow songs should be instrumentals. They should put out a whole album, 12, 14 songs that are all instrumentals. And when they want to slow down and cool everyone off, that's what they do.
So,
and I got silence. Oh my God.
Yeah. I was just trying to picture in my head how that would sound because as a fan, I'm like a lot of people. I just want to get to the jam, to the instrumental stuff. But you just saying the slow song
shut up and play your
instrumentals.
guitar. Yeah, shut up and play your guitar.
Right. So you caught me off guard. I'll tell you that. Yeah.
I guess we owe one.
Right.
Father Chris, how you doing, man? We love Father Chris.
Yeah.
And he deals with us.
Hope he's doing well.
I hope he puts in a good word for me. That's all.
Yeah. Nice.
So then God of Jibboo, which for me is a quintessential Tab trio. When I saw them in '99, that was when I was like, that song was cool as shit. First Tube, Sand, they did all, it was all those songs. But God of Jibboo, I was like, goofy lyric, what the fuck is he talking about?
Right.
This is cool. And whenever I hear it, I guess I just think of Tony more than even with First Tube. So
yeah. For me, it's a song that I usually get lost in, and tonight was no different. And I guess it's just something cheesy for me, but being at shows or even when the tune comes on, whenever they go into, God Jibboo, that high note, I just tilt my head back like a dog and howl. And it just, I don't know. And so tonight I was howling. Yeah. Before the howling. So yeah.
Yes, before the howling. Right, they did howl
Mhm.
after that, which
Yeah.
is always fun. I'm a fan of
Yeah.
the super space funk, and
I like
you
it.
don't know what the fuck the song. It's one of those things. If you heard it on the radio, you'd probably go look for it to figure out what the fuck was going on, which would then suck you in.
Yeah. Yeah. That song. Well, first of all, the sci-fi soldier stuff. So long as Page can be on his synths, I'm all for it. Period. And matter of fact, in the first set for me, that was a highlight. By the way, that was him. Was Page.
There you
But
go.
yeah. But yeah, I love the howling, and I loved it when I saw it first live at MSG, and tonight was really fun.
Who's your MVP so far this tour?
Yeah.
Because I know you're praising Page, but I think it's the guy with the dress, as always.
Yeah, I go back and forth on this. I think everybody would, but to me, there's not a clear cut. But yeah, Phish is always the steady bunny in the back, just keeping the rhythm. You know, always keeping them tight, bringing them back.
He is. And then we got a Good Times, Bad Times. They did the
Yeah.
best Good Times, Bad Times ever in '97 there. They went into the rotation jam. It was tight. I love Page when he's like, I don't want to be. You saw me.
Right.
I stood
Yeah.
up and danced. I sat for the whole
Right.
set. They played Good Times,
Right.
Bad Times. I stood up. I was
Yeah.
like, this is cool.
Yeah, like I said, it takes a lot to get you up. Yeah, right. But you know who doesn't get up for this song? Yeah, it's a nice set closer. You know what you're getting with this song. Again, we start off safe, we end safe. It was a fun ass show. It
Yeah.
was up to this point. It really was.
And then we hit the controversial thing, which people are going to be talking. It's probably going to be bigger than Quadraphonic Toppling was.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just, and I'm trying to reserve judgment, but really, just my initial thinking back, listening to it, it was cool as shit. Good for them.
Yeah, it was. You know, with seeing on Twitter today, you know, it being in the sound check. First of all, them playing it right out the gate, sound checking it day and playing it today, that was odd for me. But you know, I got to thinking during that song, it was really neat. But I was in this chat reading other things, and they were talking about slow riff and slow this and slow that. And honestly, it kind of bummed me out a little bit because I'm thinking, is this their turn to the?
You know what slow riff is, though, right?
What's that?
Slow riff is the instrumental part, the width from Curtain with the lyrics of riff sung over it. At the 8x10 in '90, they did it the first time. I was in the alley smoking a joint because they had done Satin Doll beforehand, and I was like, what the fuck is this jazz shit? It was my second show. And so I'm out there smoking a joint, and we get in, and I like caught some of the lyric, but most of what I heard was the width part with that slow prodding. But that's what slow riff is.
Well, yeah, well, that's interesting as hell. But you know, back to that maze. You know, to your point, did I enjoy it? Yeah, absolutely, I did. My personal thoughts aside, you know, screw all that. If I were at the show, I would just be geeking out over it as I walk back to my car. There's no doubt about it. And attendance bias is real, but
it is.
It's absolutely real. But it just got me to think. You know, some people like Dead and Company, some people don't. Some people think it's too slow. Some people think it's just right.
Some people think John Mayer is cute.
Yeah, some people think I have an ass.
Katy Perry did.
Yeah, well,
Katy Perry probably can't be wrong.
No. She's never wrong.
She's never wrong.
But yeah, I'll stop rambling on the maze thing. It's just it's neat to see them do different things. I love it. I love that.
I'm gonna love to see it play out over the next few days. You know, it's gonna be fun to watch. And Brad, thank you. I know I came to you last minute, and you totally stepped up to the plate for us. Hold on, wait, I got more cool shit. And no, I'm not gonna nail you with a video. Everybody tune in tomorrow night. It's gonna be me with Ryan and guy. He used to be Waddy. I think his name is Young Boudouin or something like that. Maybe
today
Skoy. Something
Or
like
Skip.
that.
Yeah.
Who the fuck knows? So we're going to do that tomorrow night, and that's going to be interesting because I'm going to nail them with a few tough questions, and we're going to see what happens. Subscribe, like, please. We love you all. We're going to get a little funky. Everybody, don't do anything I do. We'll see you tomorrow.